Hey Cameron,
Yeah.
I'm in the dating place, and I've been going out meeting a lot of different type of women. But the thing is, I wouldn't really take these women too seriously. They're not what I'm looking for an ultimate person I want to end up with.
Right.
What are some of the qualities that I should be looking for in a woman?
Yeah. This is why I say you cannot have a quality of result without a quantity of action. This is the biggest thing. The number one reason that you can't find a quality woman is that you're not actually meeting enough women. So I just want to let you know that up front. You're going to have to meet more women to find the woman that I'm about to describe. But I'll give you about 6 qualities that you want to look for in a woman that you want to take seriously. And what I mean by that is when you're dating, one of the most important things that you need to do to be successful in finding your ideal woman for a relationship is that when you're out meeting women on a regular basis and you're meeting enough women, that's the first step. Most guys aren't even doing that. But if you are doing that, to reach the success you're looking for, the next thing you're going to have to do is become adequate at screening and qualifying women as quickly as possible. The thing that'll mess you up from this stage in the game is spending too much time, energy, and resources on the wrong women who you know you're not going to go anywhere with. So here are some qualities that you want to look for, and you want to get adept at screening. Does she have these attributes as quickly as possible? And being okay with charging the woman to the game as soon as you can identify that any of these 6 qualities don't exist inside of her. Number one is going to be youth. You want a family, right?
Of course, absolutely.
Okay. Let's say that you want 3 to 4 kids over time with your future wife.
Mm.
You need to realize if you're going to allow 2 or 3 years between each child for the woman's body to recover after birth, you're looking at 6 to 9 years off the bat to have 3 or 4 kids, conservatively. So that means if a woman is about 26 years old, I would call that old, by the way, in terms of getting into a new relationship with a woman. I would call 26 years right there at old. Because by the time you're done having your last child, the woman will be 32 to 34 years old. And at that point, she's reaching where if she was to get pregnant beyond the ages of 32 to 34, we're looking at complications with having, the pregnancy and childbirth, etc. So understand that youth is critically important. You can meet a great woman at 28 years old, but she's limited in what she can do for you in terms of giving you children. Yeah, the woman is
Yes.
not as valuable as a woman who has more time on her hands to actually have children. So youth. The other reason youth is good is because in general, not always, but in general, the younger a woman is, the less experienced she is. The less experienced she is, the less exposure she's had, usually, to having bad experiences with men, which will accumulate trauma and baggage within the woman. Typically, the older a woman is, the more negative experiences she's had with various men, and then that shapes her mindset and her emotional state in a certain way that you don't really want to deal with. Number two, you want to look for a woman who's family oriented. That would mean that ideally she grew up in a stable home with a mother and a father, with a grandmother and a grandfather, ideally on both sides. And she had a good example of what a functional, intact family looks like and the dynamic between a man and a woman inside of a nuclear household. The only other alternative that I've seen is a woman who was lacking that, but was motivated to get that because of that. Now, the problem with that situation is she may or may not know what function looks like. So keep that in mind. So, family orientation, that was critical. And by that, I mean that needs to be her priority. So, the women who are more interested in their career, traveling, and we'll say kind of like living in a more independent, selfish way, those women are not as compatible with getting into a relationship with a man who's trying to have multiple children and kind of trying to lead the household in the way that he wants. That's just the reality of it. Number three, you want a woman who's chaste. And finding a woman who's chaste means that she's not putting her body on display all over the internet. She's not putting her body on display on social media or dating websites. She's not out at clubs wearing scandalous, skimpy outfits, at people's table, being seen, attention seeking, and all that kind of stuff. You also want a woman who's non-promiscuous and doesn't have a bunch of sexual experience for obvious reasons. You also want a woman who doesn't like the gawking of men. And what I mean by that is some women actually receive pleasure and validation and ego gratification from having a bunch of guys sweat them and like try to hook up with them. Some women are turned off by that and they really don't like it. Like some women don't like going to the grocery store and having a bunch of guys look at them or hit on them, right? Some women get off on that. So you need to be aware of that. Number 4, you want to look for a woman who's submissive. It doesn't matter how many good qualities a woman has. If she's unwilling to submit, you can't lead. And there's always going to be a conflict in the relationship if you want to be a traditionally masculine man who leads his household and protects and provides for his household. If the woman doesn't know how to be submissive and to go along with someone's program, that's very important. Number 5, you're looking for a woman who is intelligent. So if you have all the preceding qualities and you find a submissive woman on top of that, but she is unintelligent, one of my sayings whenever I teach my students is, doesn't matter how great a woman is, if she is too dumb to be coached, she's no good. And 6, last but not least, you want a woman who is a good homemaker. At the end of the day, you're going to be spending the majority of your time in the home that she presides over. So you want a woman who knows how to make that home warm, welcoming, and nurturing for yourself and your children. You want it to be your place of peace and a place that brings you a lot of happiness and joy. A place that's very enjoyable to spend your time as you're going to be there for hopefully a long and successful marriage. So you're going to want that to be a pleasant environment to be in. And that is the woman's domain to create that atmosphere. Does that all make sense?
It does make sense.
Yes, indeed. If you're looking for more mentorship on how to succeed in your relationships, comment the word date on this video and I'll send you a DM and we can get on a free consultation call to discuss your situation, challenges, and goals. And we can discuss an action plan for how you can make progress immediately towards getting better results in your dating relationship life.